Australia was treated to a partial solar eclipse on Tuesday, where the sky turned from day to night. Starting around 4 p.m. local time, the moon slowly passed between the sun and Earth, darkening the sky by covering roughly 65% of the star's light. South Australia saw the best coverage, with 2/3 of the sun being blocked by the moon. There was also an annular eclipse going on at the same time, leaving a ring of fire visible from remote parts of Antarctica.
Large asteroids are hitting the Earth far more often than anyone realized. That new warning comes from a group led by former NASA astronauts. They say the only thing preventing a meteor from destroying a major city is blind luck.
Impacts are more common than we think. This is a visualization of what it would look like if a city-destroying asteroid hit planet Earth. And scarily, the chance of an asteroid striking our planet is actually higher than scientists previously believed. The visualization rests on data from a global network that listens for nuclear weapon detonations, which between 2000 and 2013 detected 26 major explosions on Earth. None of these were caused by nuclear weapons. They were all the result of asteroid strikes. NASA already has a program in place that tracks asteroids larger than 1 kilometre. An object of this size, roughly equivalent to a small mountain, would have global consequences if it struck Earth. An object of this size, roughly equivalent to a small mountain, would have global consequences if it struck Earth.
This morning, tsunami sirens blaring. Chaos as an 8.2 magnitude earthquake rocks the coast of Chile, driving almost 1 million people to evacuate their homes. Fires burning after a 6-foot tsunami followed the quake.
An 8.2 magnitude quake. This ring of fire has been extremely active for the past 7 days. More than 1,700 earthquakes worldwide. We've been hearing about those in Los Angeles.
Breaking news out of California, the 5.1 magnitude earthquake centered in northern Orange County with more than 20 aftershocks.
This quake comes less than 2 weeks after news anchors ducked for cover during the so-called St. Patrick's Day shaker.
More problems for a troubled
earthquake.
Yep,
we're having an earthquake.
Seismologists are particularly worried about this quake because they think this fault may be reawakening.
Breaking news in Chile, where for the second night in a row, a major earthquake has struck.
Just about 24 hours ago, there has been another strong earthquake off northern Chile.
Now, the 7.8 shaker struck near a city called Iquique.
The Solomon Islands has been hit by an earthquake reported to measure magnitude 6, just as the Pacific Ocean archipelago was reeling from heavy flooding from a tropical storm. So far, at least 16 people have died and thousands left homeless as the capital, Honiara, suffered the worst flooding in living memory.
Greece has been rattled by an earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 5.6.
A magnitude 7.6 earthquake has hit near the flood-ravaged Solomon Islands. A tsunami warning has been issued for the Solomon Islands and surrounding areas. A tsunami watch was also in effect for Fiji, Australia, Indonesia, Guam and nearby areas.
Just as residents of Managua were clearing up the damage from an earthquake on Thursday, a second quake struck Nicaragua on Friday. Measuring 6.6 on the Richter scale, it was felt as far away as San Jose in Costa Rica. Thousands of aftershocks continue to rattle the country.
Category 5 cyclone Ita is set to go down in history as one of the biggest storms Australia has ever seen.
As Ita struck, pieces of Cooktown were stripped away. Winds at the cyclone's core reach 200 kilometres an hour.
A rare 4.9 magnitude earthquake shook central Idaho tonight. Experts say it's the strongest quake to hit that area in nearly a decade.
7.2 earthquake near a very popular vacation spot, Acapulco, Mexico. Families there to celebrate Easter, Americans there too on spring break. And it comes just weeks after that other big quake in California. So many wondering tonight, what's going on?
This morning's sudden jolt near Acapulco, big enough to sound the alarms 200 miles away. People scurrying out of their buildings. Plenty of frayed nerves. Today's 7.2 magnitude shaker follows close on the heels of the 8.2 earthquake in Chile and a 5.1 quake here in Los Angeles.
Is it my imagination, or have there been a lot of earthquakes recently?
Scientists say most of these quakes are not related to one another. There's a 100% chance of a major California earthquake eventually. California is overdue.
The U.S. Geological Survey says an earthquake struck late Saturday off Papua New Guinea's eastern coast with a preliminary magnitude of 7.5.
Good evening. It was felt as far away as Washington State.
The magnitude 6.7 earthquake shook near Port Hardy less than an hour ago. It was followed by a 5.0 aftershock and then just minutes ago, a 4.2 aftershock. A Canadian TV station is saying high-rise buildings in the Vancouver area swayed during this earthquake.
The Flinders Ranges has been shaken by its biggest earthquake in 2 decades, registering 4.7 on the Richter scale, and the effects were felt far and wide.
It was felt as far away as here in Adelaide's northern suburbs, more than 200 k's away from the quake's epicentre. Reports came in from...
Of a gush of rain coming out of the bottom of the cloud. This is really cool stuff. There you go. We're back to 5:15. Watch the bottom of the cloud coming up. Look at that. Is that incredible? Alpha Sky Vision caught that just a little while, that gush of rain.
A giant sinkhole has opened up in a residential neighborhood of northeast Baltimore in the US. The ground caved in and a huge crater swallowed up part of the street, burying train tracks under a pile of rubble. Measuring a block long, the sinkhole sucked in several cars and forced the evacuation of a row of houses. Witnesses said the ground shook as the sinkhole expanded and it appeared to be a landslide.
The death toll from powerful storms sweeping across South Central America is rising. At least 18 people have been killed as tornadoes wiped out entire neighborhoods in Arkansas. Winds ripped houses off their foundations and flipped cars on top of the rubble. The twister shredded cars, tore up trees and brought down power lines. The severe storm system continues pushing its way across the country. People in the Midwest and South bracing themselves for severe hail, high winds and tornadoes.
Dozens of tornadoes were bearing down in the Midwest and South, and one of the most powerful roared through the outskirts of Little Rock, Arkansas, carving a trail on the ground for 40 miles.
I've heard that saying that it sounds like a train. No, it sounded evil.